Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of it. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew.
Come on in the room. Da, 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 da.
Intellectual.
All right, I see y'all coming in. Come on in. Come on in. Say hello when you come in, though. Hey, what's up? How you doing? What's up, Alicia?
With James Kirkland.
I'll do it early now. I'm not sending out any links. If they want to get on, they get on tonight. They got to remember on their own.
Intellectual stew.
What's up, Angel Rose Smith? How are you? Come on in. It's open mic night tonight, so I'm on what y'all are on. Otherwise, I'm gonna sit here and do like this. So y'all better tell me what y'all want to talk about. Yeah, I'm on y'all. What y'all on? Hey, do me a favor. When you come in, share this, please. Let people know we're on. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
All right, what's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. And I am excited, I guess is the word I want to use, to make your acquaintance once more and again on a Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 for those of you all who are listening in the Central Standard Time Zone. Those I know I do have some people who tap in every week, and I appreciate you. What's up, Kathy? How are you? But listen, we're on tonight, and it's open mic night. Y'all see right there what it says? It says open mic night. So with that being said, the mic is open. It's yours. Let me grab. Y'all see the phone number there? Let me put it on. Put it and turn the phone on. Take phone calls, because as of right now, be able to answer that quick. Don't start playing with me tonight. There we go. Moving a little slow there, buddy. All right, Dennis, what's up? Bishop Simpson, how you doing? So I'm putting the phone number up. Listen, you can get, what's up, Viola? You can do the phone if you want. I'm going to answer if you call on the phone, but I really, really, really wish that you would come on video with me. It helps me on some things that I'm trying to do as far as like editing and all those types of things. And I'm telling you all, hear me and hear me well. Hear me well. What's up? What's up, little brother? But hear me and hear me well. I have zero agenda tonight. When I say zero, I mean zilch, kaput. Normally I have a whole lesson over here, or, you know, some practical points that I deem portable, so you all can you know, use them and make them profitable. You know, I put all that preachery stuff on it. I ain't got that tonight. I don't have that tonight. All I got tonight is this microphone and that phone right there, And that's what I'm on tonight. So whatever y'all are on, I'm on. I'm on. Whatever y'all are on. I'm trying to let y'all start it. So let me put this link in the chat. So for those that want to come on video with me, listen, the rules are such: be respectful. That's all I'm asking you to do, is be respectful, because I'm going to be respectful. Now, if I'm disrespected, I really can't control how I respond. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty quick with this mouth, you know, and so I try to. And listen, there's 10 people in here, and only one person has reacted. Will y'all all at one time like or love the post and then share it? And if y'all share, we can get in this algorithm tonight, and we can have us a good conversation, because I got a feeling there's going to be some good stuff said in here tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Yeah. So y'all decide what y'all want to talk about while I'm trying to upload something real quick that I forgot to upload. And y'all talk to each other. Have y'all spoken to one another yet? Y'all speak to each other as well. Some of us, we've created a pretty good little community here, to be honest with you all. We've created a pretty good little community, and I'm appreciative for what we are starting to build, as we call it, the Stew Crew. That's what I like to call it, the Stew Crew. So I appreciate how we all interact with each other. Dennis is here every week. Bishop Simpson typically stops by to grace us with his presence. Alicia, some of you have really helped to build this community that we're starting to build. And so I'm appreciative to you all. Like I said, now, normally I'll come in here and I'll have a lesson prepared or something to talk about. I don't have it. I don't have it tonight. And so the show, what did I just do wrong? Oh, so the show can be as long or as short as y'all make it. Let me just say it like that, because I'm really, tonight, I really want us to get to the point where we do this open mic night. There my buddy, little brother Dennis is. I keep messing up. I should have had this done, y'all. I'm sorry. I wanted to address this. So, Dennis, what we're gonna talk about tonight? Alicia, I promise I'm coming, y'all. Give me one hot sec. Let me fix this. What's up? Intellectual stew. Should I put the music back on? Should I put the music back on while I fix this? No, I'm not. But no, hey, what? Okay, well, I'll start. What did y'all do this weekend? I went to brunch yesterday at a place here in Marietta called The Perfect Note, and they had a live band, a live young lady performing, Tiffany Womack, and she was real interactive with her show. She was very interactive with her show. And so she came out in the crowd, and when she came out in the crowd, she would put the microphone in people's mouths and all that kind of stuff. And some people could sing, some people weren't very good singers, but it was fun. It was fun. And so y'all know July 6th was my birthday, so I'm celebrating my birthday all month long, right? So yesterday we went. What's Derek Harper on here? Wow, y'all, that's the GOAT is on here right now. Oh my God! Wow. Derek Harper is the smartest man in the whole wide world, and if you all are not following him, please go follow him, like right now, for real. Y'all can take a break from me for a minute to go follow him, because he is feeding our community stuff, man. Dennis, it's ironic that Derek is on here right now, because you talk about money. He is that dude, bro, for real. You don't clout chase like that, but he's that guy. But anyway, I went wow. Anyway, I went to The Perfect Note yesterday. I shout out to all cancers, but anyway, I went to Perfect Note, and so she's passing the mic around, and she's singing what's the name of that song? The Best Part by Daniel Caesar and her. And so she comes to me and she puts the mic in my mouth there. Y'all know I'm 100% church. I don't know nothing, but she put the mic in my mouth and I did this. Let me let y'all check it out right quick. So here, check this out. Now, the song was cool. You know, I hit the notes okay. And you know, I ain't the greatest. I understand that, but I had fun, right? But the thing that resonated with me the most at the end of that video, Viola, was my smile. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Woo! Do you hear me? At the end of that, I don't know if y'all noticed that. I said, whatever that note I was. And then I bent over and I handed her the microphone, and then I backed up and then I smiled. And that smile came from the inside. And if you consider, and those who know my story, as I talk about on the path to better, and that's what I'm working on, I'm moving towards the path to better. As I move to, but when I saw better, I wasn't in a very good place. Better, in fact, only reason I knew that better existed is because I had experienced better before. So when I was in bad, and I was there, man, bad was rough, and I didn't smile for a very long time. Real talk, I didn't. No smile existed, you know. And we've been talking. Listen, this is open mic night, so don't let me start getting on a rant right now. Please don't let me get on a rant. The phone number's right there. I got the link pinned in the chat for anybody that wants to come on the video. Y'all can promote whatever you want to do. I don't care. This is open mic night. You can do whatever, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Dennis Pittman hit me up today and was talking about cryptocurrency and how XRP is up to $3.49. Man, whatever y'all are on, I'm on it, man, for real. But anyway, I guess but that smile was buried in what I call, and what we learned in the last few weeks, as the grace gap. I was guilty. I felt guilty. I was filled with resentment. I was filled with anxiety. I definitely practiced condemnation. And my ego was so huge that I had to wear a mask just to be amongst certain people. So if I did smile, was I really smiling? Or was it the mask or the grin that was on the mask? Because you can buy a mask and the mask already has the smile asphyxiated to it, right? And so because it's like it is, you know, it'll look like you're smiling, but on the inside. And when it's time to go home and, you know, deal with the man / or a woman in the mirror, you know, I don't know what your pronouns are. But whenever you find yourself in that position, that's a rough place. And you'll go so long without smiling that when you finally do smile, wow. I mean, it was good. If you love me, won't you say something? That was cool. I mean, if you love me. And Tiffany, you know, the little girl, she was rocking with me, and the whole crowd was cheering me on, all that kind of stuff. It was fun, man. And I'm gonna tell you, those that know me, I'm an introvert. I can preach in front of 10,000 people, but it's a gulf in front of me. Or I can preach in front of 1,000, 1,500 people, but it's a gulf. And I'm kind of in control of the crowd. So that's different. But to go somewhere impromptu and just take the mic, and that's not really my stilo, man. That ain't really what I do. It's easy to stand behind this mic or sit behind this mic and talk. That's easy. But in a crowd, sometimes that's not really that ain't really my crowd. That ain't really my thing, man. So to get in that setting. And we're talking about on the path to better. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about really healing. And this is what I want y'all to understand. And y'all talk back to me, please. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. This is where I want us to get to. If we're on the path to better, I want y'all to make this confession with me. I want y'all to make this profession with me. I want us, if on the path to better, on our path towards healing, I want us to get to a place, Dennis Pittman, check this out. I want us to get to a place where we're healed enough to go to the next level. I want us to get to a place where we're healed. We might not even be completely healed. I don't even know if completely healed exists. I hope it does. I feel like I'm there. But even if I'm not healed completely, if I'm not healed totally, as long as I'm healed enough, does that make sense? To go. Because see, Viola, some people were so hurt in their last relationship that they don't want to go forward into another relationship because they're still thinking about the pain from the past relationship. So their prayer should be, if they will, because some people have given up on relationships, but their prayer should be, Lord, let me be healed enough. Because you know what? Your complete healing might be in your next relationship. Bless you, man. When you sometimes you might not even realize it, but the healing that you need might be in your relationship. You got to be healed enough. I'm in part of, and then you know how that starts with being cool with yourself. Now I tell people, Derek, I tell my people all my story. I wrote a book, man, called Stuck on the Couch, and it chronicles my life from the time that I got divorced, got separated. Got separated, went through the divorce, all those types of things. And I was stuck, man. And you know, the scripture, when the Bible talks about the God of this world, it's a lowercase g, God of this world, blinding the minds of them, not the eyes of them. People misread that. It says blinding the minds of them, lest the light of the glorious gospel should be hid. Because if the mind is blind, it can't see light. All it sees is darkness. So it can't see purpose. Does that make sense? It can't see destiny. It can't see next. All it sees is right now and how bad our current state is, right? But what God does is through the Holy Spirit, he sends little reminders. And these little reminders of who you are and what your purpose is. And my reminder came one day walking from the couch to the bathroom in the form of a mirror. Something I hadn't looked in a long time. And when I looked in the mirror, Derek Harper, guess what I said? I said, "Hey, self." Because I hadn't seen him in a long time. And when I saw him, I said, "Ugh." And I sat there a long time and had a real good self-evaluation. I mean, a real good assessment of who I had become. Not who I was. Not who I was, but who I had become. Because who I was trapped under the mask and the scales and the dirt and all the muck and the mire, all those things that I had become. That's who I was in there, but who I had become, I'm looking in the mirror like, ugh, really? Then first thing I said is, I would have left me too. But that was the epiphany, right? That was the aha moment, right? That's when I started becoming reattached to my purpose. And then I started looking at my wife. I said, oh, okay. Because see, listen, let me tell you something. Because anybody who's listening to me now, all of us have a purpose. Every last one of us have a purpose. Sometimes we become detached from our purpose. Sometimes we lose our way. Sometimes as the children of Israel, we walk around the same rock for 38, 40 years, right? Before we finally go into the land of promise, because God's going to keep us in that cycle. Whatever you call God, he's going to keep you in that cycle until he gets off of you what can't go with you. Does that make sense? Because some stuff that's on you can't go with you into your land of promise. Certain things are not welcome, or they don't, I'm trying to think of the right word. They don't fit in this new place that you're going. That's why certain friends that you had, they're falling off. Your crowd's starting to change. Your circle's starting to evolve because you're being shifted. And we're and right now we're in an accelerated shifting season. I mean, some of us are going to really start experiencing some suddenlies. We're going to wake up and it's going to be like things have changed overnight, right? Because you made the right investment, or, you know, you got connected to the right person. Right now, I'm asking God to send me to the right people. I had somebody show up in my inbox today, and then they were trying to sell me a service, you know, and they wanted me to buy, you know, a strategy session. And I'm listening to her, and she's telling me everything she can do for me to help me, you know, in my business and all that kind of stuff. And you know, with the podcast and the books and everything I'm trying to do that I'm building. And I said, well, anything you're asking to do, I can do. She said, yeah, but do you want to do it? She said, because while I'm doing that, you could be doing something else. I said, oh. And I thought about that because I learned that a long time ago. I remember back when I lived in Powder Springs, you know, we had a house, car, all those things. I used to pay somebody to cut the yard. I used to pay somebody to come wash the cars, all those things. Because I thought my time was more valuable than, because I didn't like cutting grass. I really did. So I'd rather pay him. Back then it was $40. It was 2001. But I'd rather pay him. I made way more than $40 an hour back then. So I would rather invest that because I can get the car washed and whatever for that time, for, you know. So why did I go to that tangent? I don't know. Anyway, but listen, I'm through it. But listen, open mic night. Dennis, what did you tell me you wanted to tap? I don't know what I just lost my train of thought that quick. I did. I really did. Because I'm not supposed to be doing all this talking anyway. It's supposed to be open mic night on this. What's up, Lazaric? Hey, Kathy, I see you. What's up, Viola? Oh yeah, she said for some it's the fear. I'm sorry, I didn't see that, Viola. Viola said for some people this is you're afraid. Exactly, you're afraid of being hurt again, and that's why the prayer should be as opposed to being healed, because you do want to be healed, but healed is a process. So with that, your prayer, I think, and this is just me talking. I'm not a expert in this area, but I think that we should pray to be healed enough. And healed enough is a good platform to go into another level, go to the at least to the next step, right? Go to the next step. And there's no time limit on that. There's no, your time limit. Now I do think some people like to stay on suffering boulevard for a long time because suffering has been so glorified and so monetized for so long, because some people wear suffering like it's a badge of honor, but at a certain point, if healing is the goal, then you should start making steps to go. We talked about that last week, 5 steps to get unstuck. The first step was, once you realize, where you are, then maybe you need to go to a period of isolation, be alone to really get to know. And I did. I went through my period of isolation. That was, man. And you know what? The funny part, I just thought about that. I really did. I just thought about that. Part of that isolation piece, it was kind of forced isolation, because when I was separated, going into my divorce, right after that was the pandemic. And then, with the pandemic, everybody had to quarantine, so we were, very, and I was working I was either on the road or I was working, I was at home, but I was home by myself. So when I would tell people that that silence sounded like noise, it's because I was at home alone for like an extended period of time. But I later learned that period of isolation was good. Has anybody else? Let me ask some. Let me turn this. When you, and some of you, I don't know where you are on your process, because I want to believe that all of us are on the path to better. If we're not already, if you've already made it, let me give you your flowers right now. If you're on your way to heaven and you're enjoying the trip and life is great, grand, and wonderful for you. But for those of you all who are on the path to better, when you had your breaking moment, whatever your breaking moment was, but because all that's extremely relative, right? Your breaking moment is that aha moment, that moment where maybe you had realized that you had been going through the same thing. Because they say insanity is the same thing, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. But when you realize that you were continuing to go in circles, and then all of a sudden you had that epiphany, or that aha moment, did you have your period of isolation? What did your process look like? What did your process look like? Tell me right quick. What was your process look? Anybody, like I said, if you want to call in, there the phone number is, or if you want to come on the chat, on the video, the link is right there in the chat. Let me put it out there again. All you gotta do is click on it, and then you'll be able to come in. Hopefully you have decent lighting. So the decent lighting, so when you come in, you can be seen. There the link is again, for those of you all who might want to come on in. Y'all saw today, certain celebrity deaths affected me. Like Kobe messed me up. Kobe really messed me up. I ain't gonna lie. As a grown man, I cried when Kobe passed away. Now I didn't cry today, but we saw that Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away. And many of us grew up with Malcolm Jamal Warner because we grew up watching The Cosby Show. And we didn't know him as Malcolm Jamal Warner. We knew him as who? Who did we know him as? We knew him as Theo Huxtable. Yep, but old Theo is no longer with us. Theo has passed away. That, from what I'm understanding, I haven't gotten the whole story yet, but Theo was vacationing. Yeah, anybody know the story? Y'all come on, tell me the story right quick. Anybody Dennis, do you know the story? What happened with Theo? Was he on? Did I hear he was on vacation in Costa Rica or somewhere, and he had an accidental drowning? Somebody who knows the story, tell me the story. Put it in the chat if you don't want to come on and talk to me about it. But Theo, man, those of us, I'm 40. Excuse me, I'm not 40. I'm 53. I'm 53, and I think they said he was born in 1970, so he was a couple of years older than me. He would, if he'd have made it, looked like if he'd have made it to August, he would have been 55 years old. I'm looking. Is my math correct on that? But he's no longer with us, and I'm sure we all have our favorite Cosby Show moments with Theo on it. I didn't put a clip out here tonight, but I do. Family vacation in Costa Rica, and yes, he drowned. Yeah, so accidental drowning, man. It's ironic. I was just watching a show a couple of weeks ago. It might have been on. Was it on Good Morning America? And they were talking about the riptides. No, actually, you know what? It was on Good Morning America. I think it was. But I also saw a guy on. He was on Facebook. Family from Arkansas. They had gone to Florida, and the children got caught in a riptide, and the child got drowned and sucked away in the riptide. So they're saying that when you have those that haven't liked this post or hearted it, if you would do that and still share it, please, I appreciate you if you would do that for me. I really do. But they talk about the riptides, how if you have to swim parallel with the shore, because if you don't swim parallel, then you're actually spending too much energy, because there's no way you're going to. Most people are not strong enough swimmers to be able to swim through a riptide. I mean, thankfully my parents got me swimming lessons when I was 6, 7 years old. So I do know how to swim now. I'm not in shape, so I'm sure I'll get tired if I don't. Because I called myself didn't want to work out one time, so I said I was going to start swimming, and I was swimming those little 25-meter laps. I couldn't swim 15 meters hardly without getting tired. So, but our prayers go out to Malcolm Jamal Warner and his family. He was still working. They said he had just dropped the latest episode of his podcast, but he is no longer here, and he's gone too soon. It's interesting, Dennis. You know, you call me big brother. You know, and I guess that puts you somewhere in your late 30s, early 40s, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm in my I'm easing into my mid 50s. I'm not quite there yet. I'm easing into my mid 50s, and a lot of my friends, you know, they got gray hair now, and a lot of them don't move as fast as they used to move. And some of them now, you know, they're no longer with us. We've already read their obituaries, and that's where we are now, and that's why we should really be cognizant. You know, I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and I talked about respect. We talked about respect, and I've been on that one for a minute. You know, how, you know, who should, you know, because just because a person, and I say this all the time, just because a person hasn't earned your respect doesn't mean they've earned your disrespect. And some of us feel like we shouldn't just give people respect just because they're human, you know, human beings, right? I mean, just because, you know, just mutual respect shouldn't have to be negotiated. That shouldn't be transactional, you know, but that should be something that's just given just because of our service to humanity, right? But some of us are so egocentric and so suffer from perpendicular itis so bad that it's not about anybody else. You know, I put a post out, Dennis Pittman, a couple of weeks ago. I said one of the most oxymorons ever is calling someone selfish while you're being selfish at the same time. I don't get it. 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 But I'm gonna figure it out. And if Grandmama and them were right, and I do believe they are, I think I'll understand it better by and by. I think I'll understand it better if I live long enough. So, yep, I'm rambling now. So what we on? Dennis, you called me earlier and you said you wanted to talk about something. Give me call in, or if you could jump on the video, go ahead and jump in. And I want you to share what you said that you feel like has helped you, and you think a lot of people in society would benefit if they would start practicing what you feel would be one of the things that would help us live together more. Is harmoniously the words you would use, Dennis? To live in harmony. I think that fits. I think that fits. If he's able to call in, he might not be able to call in. And so if he's not, that's fine. But let me put the phone number back up. Hold on. In case somebody because I don't have the phone number up. I guess that would make a difference. Oh Lord, which one am I supposed to be putting up? Is it this one? Yes, okay. All right. So there it is. There the phone number is. Links in the chat. Let me see what it values. She said it threw me off after I heard about it. I watched the Cosby Show every Thursday. Yeah, all of us grew up on the Cosby Show. I mean, literally grew up. I mean, through him, and we grew up with him. I mean, look, Rudy is. You remember Rudy, baby. Rudy was little then. And we had to be close, a couple of years older, not much different, when they did that thing. But yeah, but Rudy's grown now. I forgot her real name. But what were all their names? Rudy, Vanessa, I'm going up. Vanessa, Theo, Denise, and Sandra. That's it. I got it. Did I get it right? Rudy, Vanessa, Theo, because he was in the middle. He was the only boy. Denise and Sandra. And who else? Sandra was married to, who was married to Elvin? I forgot. One of them was married to Elvin, and one of them was married to the other dude. I didn't know the other dude's name. What's the other dude's name? The one that was in the military. I think he was married to Denise. But Elvin was married to Sandra. That's right. But yeah, that was a good show, man. That was a really good. That was a good show. That was a really good show. Sandra was married to Elvin. So who was married to Denise? What was his name? What was his name? We're remembering Malcolm Jamal Warner, y'all, right now. For those that just came in, who was Denise? Because she was married to the dude that was in the military that had the little girl. I can't think of the Raven. Was it the little girl's name? No, that was Raven. Raven might have been her real name. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away today in Costa. Well, I guess it was today in Costa Rica from an accidental drowning, and we are remembering him. Yeah. Did y'all see the CEO? You can't remember his name. Did y'all? I guess I can always Google it. Did y'all see the CEO of Coldplay? What y'all think about that? The one that was, I mean, not the CEO of Coldplay, but the CEO that was at the Coldplay concert. I said that right. Who was Denise married to? Cosby Show. There we go. Somebody must have asked that question before. Lieutenant Martin Kendall. I still don't remember his name. I still don't. Raven's name was Olivia. Okay, Olivia was the daughter. Okay, yeah. His name was Martin. It's this right here. Say his name was yeah, Luke. Yeah, Martin Kendall. That's it. Martin Kendall. Yeah. Did y'all see the dude that was at the CEO that was at the Coldplay concert up in the skybox, and they put the kiss cam on him, and when they put the kiss cam on him, he was hugged up with his I guess VP of HR or whatever, and the only problem was the VP of HR was not his wife. That was the problem. And so when they put the kiss cam on him and they all hugged up like this, I wish I had the picture. I should have did the picture. They all hugged up, and then she tried to duck out and hide, but and so there's so much wrong with that. Number one, fraternization. If any other employees of the company would have been caught dating, then they probably would have been fired. Probably some type of law. I mean, some type of policy, not a law. There's probably some type of policy about that. But it lets you know that people in powerful positions feel like they can do whatever it is they want to do. But in this instance, when they did what they wanted to do, they got caught. And when they got caught, they got busted. And they got busted so bad that it made it like all the way to Good Morning America, man. Ain't that crazy? That people are so invested in people's personal lives that what y'all think about that? What would you do if you looked up and you're in a relationship with somebody and that you see them on the kiss cam? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. You see them hugged up. She ain't even fine. She don't look like. I'm just joking. But I guess that's what he liked, though. Guess that's what he likes, though. That's what he likes. All right, listen. It's 10:08. We've been on here for about. Hold on. Can we discuss how infidelity in relationships, where finances and abundance doesn't end the relationship? Can we discuss how infidelity? Let me see if I can put this up where I can read it. Then he said, can we discuss how infidelity in relationships where finance and abundance doesn't end the relationship? I'm gonna need you to come on and unpack that for me, little brother. You know, your mind run faster sometimes than mine, so we can discuss whatever you want to discuss because it's open mic night. So if you want to call in and discuss it, let's put it out there and let's see what the people have to say about it. He says, and anybody that wants to chime in on that subject, here it is. Let me put it up again. He says, let's discuss how infidelity in relationships where finances is in abundance doesn't end the relationship. So if somebody, so what you're basically saying is you doubt if the CEO's wife leaves because she don't want to leave her lifestyle. Is that what you're suggesting, Dennis? Anybody else want to chime in on that subject right there? What do you think? When there's an abundance of finances in a relationship, infidelity does not end the relationship. Dennis is saying, even though that man got caught on the kiss cam with another woman that was not his wife, that this man's wife wouldn't consider leaving him, had people not, if people wouldn't have made it a national story. What do y'all think? Hold on, he's still talking. He can't, so he gonna type it. He can't talk. I go as far as to say she knew that he was saying, ooh. Dennis said that he believes. Now, Dennis ain't the only one that got an opinion on this, but Dennis says he believes that the woman, that the CEO's wife already knew that the man was probably knew that the man was having an affair with the lady, and that the CEO's wife wouldn't even consider leaving because finance was in abundance, so she wouldn't have allowed infidelity to ruin the relationship. This is what Dennis is saying. I think I got his whole story now. But he's saying that if people wouldn't have made it a national story, now that people have made it a national story, and now that she's had to go through the public scrutiny and the public embarrassment, now she is put back in a corner where she has to consider leaving to save face. Is that what you're saying? Wow. Hold on, Dennis. See, that's why I need you to come on the show. I need you to come on the show. I need you, because it's the time we get the chance to pile on. I want to pile on this time. Dennis says, I could be alone, but I feel sorry for the man. Stacey, your comment came through late as I don't know what. Dennis said, I could be alone, but he feels sorry for the CEO, the cheating CEO that got caught. He got fired for what he did in his free time. I guess that's one perspective. What do y'all? Dennis ain't the only one with a thought. Who else got a thought on that? For real, y'all. Let's talk for a minute. We got about 15 minutes, and then I'm really gonna go to bed tonight. I really am. But I want to hear this. Dennis say he feels sorry for this cat right here. Let me put him back on the screen. Let me put him back on the screen. The cheating CEO. And I ain't gonna knock on my I've been accused. I've done my thing in my day. I got punished for it too. But this is the cheating CEO. This is the CEO that went to the the Coldplay concert. And when they threw the kiss cam on him, I wonder who paid him to do that, to put the kiss cam on him. Because this nut is out there smiling like it's just, look at them. I mean, they look like they smiling, and I don't know if she can close her mouth because her teeth kind of big. But you think she can close her mouth? I don't know. Maybe that's what he like. But anyway, either way, Dennis said he feels sorry for him because he, like Craig on Friday, got fired on his day off while he wasn't even at work. He was doing something on his free time that he wasn't supposed to be doing, but he did it and got caught. What a way to go out. Could it, Dennis, I mean, that's a question. Could it have been a setup? We'll never know. We'll never know. Everyone who has shared this story, who has cheated before, is a hypocrite. I listen, I fall on the sword. I know what I did. I'm divorced because of it. Well, partially divorced, the reason, But so I get it. But he did it. And he was a dummy with it, though. I mean, and all of us are dummies for doing it. All of us are dummies for doing it. Real talk. There's nobody deserves to be cheated on, especially when you got so many people who are cool with open relationships and all those types of things. We live in a weird society now, man. A weird, I mean, really, really weird society. He said I was never married, but I definitely cheated. Yeah, I know I have. But he was stupid. I mean, he got caught on the kiss cam. They wasn't kissing, but they would have been better off had they kissed. They could have played it out while we were sitting beside each other. So the rule was to kiss, so we kissed. I mean, they'd have been better off doing it that way, but they got like hemmed up fast. And Viola said she thought he resigned. Either I don't know if he resigned or he got fired, but whatever it was, it cost him. And it cost him in more ways than one, because like you said, Dennis, and what do y'all agree? Let me ask you a question. For those, he said he bet they don't divorce. If Viola, if you got what he had coming, all right, he ducked like he was dodging bullets. So if your husband's super rich, Viola, and you find him cheating, are you gonna stay or are you gonna break? I'm gonna ask that question. If you're with somebody and their finances are strong, I mean they're in abundance. I mean, got some M's behind it. I ain't talking about no thousands. I'm talking about some M's. And you got a certain lifestyle that you've become accustomed to, and all of a sudden they start cheating on you. Are you breaking out? Are you leaving? Or are you going to stay? Especially if you don't have a prenup, or if you have a very limited prenup where say you can't get nothing, or are you going to stay for the lifestyle? Because Dennis is saying that he don't believe any way in the world. He don't believe any way in the world that woman would have left if the story had not become national news. And it became somebody. Well, I mean, that's been going on forever. People love to find glory in other people's downfalls. When I put that video last week, said miserable people are only happy when they see somebody else miserable too, because misery loves company. And I tell you, miserable people love to send out invitations to pity parties, but do you accept? And I'm be honest with you, people that send mail to me, I don't even check my mail. So if you send me mail, I don't even check it. Please like this post and then share it. I don't even check my mail. I don't. So I don't accept many invitations. Now, if we have the relationship where, if we have a relationship of such where I will attend your event, you're probably not going to send it to me in the mail. You're probably going to tell me about it. Real talk. And then I'll be expecting the invitation. And then if I'm expecting the invitation, then I might look for it in the mail, or I'll just know when it is, so I'll just show up, something along those lines. But I don't accept invitations, especially when from people who send out invitations to pity parties. I'm just not gonna do it, right? And misery loves company. And as you ascend, as you're in this place that we call on the path to better, you can't be hanging around miserable folk. You got to have that was the second step of 5 steps of getting unstuck, Dennis. First step was isolation, but the second step was proper association. You start to associate with the right people who speak life in you. You know what I'm saying? People who are going in the same direction that you're going in, or people who've been through what you're going through and can help you. Hold on. Viola said when I asked her would she leave, she said I probably would have some of that money saved by now and be able to chunk the deuces. What if you didn't? That was an easy one, Viola. I don't know why you put that one on the T for me. That was too simple. That was easy. What if you didn't have the money saved up? Would you stay then? Would you stay? And if you stayed, what does it say? And if a person who's being cheated on, this is a trick question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Dennis, I'm asking you. Viola, I'm asking you. I'm asking anybody who's participating. If you know that they're cheating and you stay, what does it say about you? Or does it say anything? Personally, I got enough issues of my own to be concerned about what's going on in somebody else's life. People trip me out. They be asking me questions about other people like I can answer for them. I don't care enough. I don't care enough, right? I'm trying to work out my own soul salvation. I'm trying to get to a place called better so I can do some more for even though my children are grown, still won't do, because one day they're going to have grandchildren. I'm 52, 53, I mean, so I got about 12 more years to retirement. All of them. Okay, you said, oh, if you stay, okay. Viola said, if you stay, you're teaching him how to treat you. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Then it says, depending on the situation, I don't think someone is stupid for staying. Okay. I wish Coy was on here. Coy says she don't believe in church. She said she believed that cheating is a created term. Those who remember, Coy used to be one of my co-hosts. But she said she would never leave her man for cheating. She said, and the reason why she said she wouldn't leave her man for cheating, she said, because he don't love her. She said that was just an act. He's just having sex. What is that? This is what she said, y'all. This is not what I'm saying. So don't come for me. I don't feel like fighting. I'm tired. But that's what she said. She said, I'm not concerned about. Now, don't be out here making me look bad. And that's what he did. He on the kiss cam. You had a hockey game or whatever kind of game he was on. I don't know what kind of. I know. Did they ever say what? Is that a Coldplay concert? I'm sorry. You had a concert. And you get caught on the kiss cam. You're not even being respectful. You first of all, you're in public, but now you expose and in public. So you know that's one thing I heard. One young lady I was dealing with, we kind of fell out back in the day, but she said, "Don't have me out here looking stupid." And I don't know any women that want to be out here. That term they use, out here looking stupid. They at a concert, he really likes it. She probably put that pressure on him. I want to go somewhere. I'm tired of being in private. I want to go somewhere. Take me to the concert. And the little head start thinking for that big head, and all of a sudden, you all hold me. I just thought she might have been the one that set it up, Bishop Simpson. Hold me. No, I'm just joking. This is for entertainment purposes only. Let me put that disclaimer out here. For entertainment purposes only. Ain't no slander here. I'm just joking. I only know the woman's name, but I know he was holding her. And I know that kiss cam went up in that box. And I know that man ain't had no business. Well, they didn't have no business being at the coast. If she was single and he was married, who had the most to lose? If she was single and he was married, who had the most to lose? Yeah. Very heavy. Now, hey, let me tell you something. That you can say what you want. Nobody can make him do nothing. Oh, she was married too? Oh my God. Well, I take it back then. Wow, they both stupid then. But if she see, I'm glad y'all helped me out with that. But hey, I don't care if he's CEO of major. I done seen that little thing bring kings and presidents down. Marilyn Monroe had her own little in the same house. But anyway, and yeah, she got kids, a husband, and she's a VP of HR. Yeah, but either way, they both are stupid. I don't know. Maybe they had a little party going on there tonight because it was several people had to be several people in the suite. I don't know, and maybe they started drinking a little bit. They were they on Front Street, and they thought they was in a box. I ain't know. I haven't been to a concert in a long time. I didn't know they did kiss cams at concerts. I know they do them at baseball games and basketball games and stuff like that. But I didn't know they did kiss cam. They do kiss cams at concert. Those that went to Beyonce concert here recently, did they do a kiss cam there? Well, it was all women. Well, I ain't gonna say all women, but I hope they ain't do no kiss concert, no kiss cam. But hey, this is 2025. Lord have mercy. They spent all day together and they took it to another level. Yep. At the concert, all on Front Street. But whatever they did, they got caught and they're exposed now. And I'm sure he probably had a prenup in place, or if he didn't, her husband. Dennis, if you were her husband, she came home, how would you handle that one? If you were her husband and you see your wife, because we always talk about the man cheating, but when Viola said they just stupid. Yeah, everything comes to the light. But if you're her husband and your wife is on Good Morning America, not for good reasons, but because she went to a concert and she's hugged up with her boss, like you supposed to be holding on. She probably ain't been held by that like that from him in a long time, from her husband. I'm guessing, I'm speculating. So hey, charge it to my head, not to my heart. But either way, how would you feel, Dennis, Stacy? And Stacey, I know y'all both have good relationships. So but if you saw your woman, because they always say that men can't take what we put out. We are women. We put a whole lot on women with the cheating and all that kind of stuff. But if they did it to us, it would break our hearts. It would destroy us. Dennis said, because I'm the breadwinner, we divorce immediately. I wouldn't change my lifestyle because she's cheating. I mean, I wouldn't change my lifestyle because she's cheating, but he'd never sleep with her again. Yeah. Viola said he lost his career for nothing. Yeah. A lot of people have lost a lot from a term cheating. And because if you're cheating and you get caught, and that's in anything, if you get cheating using steroids, there's a penalty to play. If you're cheating, shooting dice, and you're in the wrong house, you might lose your life. Cheating has consequences. And like you said earlier, Dennis, everything comes to the light. Everything comes to the light, especially when you've been cheating. There's just I don't know, you kind of lose your covering and you lose your protection. I think God gives us an umbrella, for those of us who, walk right, those of us who walk with integrity. But as we start trying to circumvent and cheat and go against the grain, then we pay for that, right? Through consequences. And sometimes the consequences come through exposure. And with exposure comes embarrassment, and then when you have to deal with the public scrutiny and the embarrassment, then, it's like you become excommunicated, because now you're in the headlines, but you're in the headlines for the wrong reason. That's a tough pill to swallow. That's a tough pill to swallow. And I'm not telling you from what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. Then they say, I still feel sorry for all parties involved for all the attention that this received. They embarrass themselves with that foolishness. I get it. So you don't have, then Viola says she ain't got no compassion for anybody involved. You haven't compassion. Do you have at least compassion for his wife and her husband? And maybe their children, because they're definitely going to get what they deserve, no doubt. But there's got to be some coupled compassion there, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Or you be like me, be like, that's them. I don't care. But that's your boy. I'm gonna show him one more time. One more time for those that didn't see it earlier. This is the cheating CEO, and we've been there before, no doubt. We're not castricizing him or anything. You know, he's human, and that's the woman he was cheating with. She got some. Look at him arm. She work out. She work out. She got some muscular definition on those arms. Well, she definitely work out. She look muscular, almost masculine muscular, but she work out. And he look happy. I guess he ain't happy today though. He ain't happy when Good Morning America starts showing all that. Okay, Viola, she says she feels feel bad for the spouses and the kids, but for those two, they're exposed. I mean, it changes lives, man. And that's why I encourage people, man. If you're gonna get married, if you're gonna be in a relationship, make sure you're ready for that relationship. If you don't think that person has what it takes to satisfy you and keep you sad, especially if you're talking about marriage, because marriage is forever. Y'all know that, right? It's till death. It's supposed to be. We kind of changed it up some, but marriage is like supposed to be forever, right? It's supposed to be forever. So if you gonna make the commitment to marry somebody, make sure that person satisfies you, and that they're gonna satisfy you from now on. Because I went to that and I showed y'all me singing earlier today there was several people in there, older people. Some of them had been married for like 40 plus years. On July the 11th, my parents celebrated 46 years of marriage. You know, and that's my stepmom, but she had me since I was 7 years old. So that's my mama. 46 years, you know, and they haven't always gotten along. They haven't always, they've had some arguments and things of that nature, but they worked their way through it. And, I don't know if daddy did something. I don't know if mama did something. I don't know. Because one thing about it is they kept me in a child's place. And I appreciated that. This is the last subject I'm going to talk about. Then I'm going to move on. Then I'm going to go tonight. They kept me in a child's place. They didn't put me in their problems. I don't know if they had any. I'm sure they did. I heard some arguments. But for the most part, hey, Shauna Penn. But for the most part, they kept me in a child's place. My dad, he drank beer, but he never drank out of a can in front of me. My dad would pour the beer in a big cup. I saw it, but he didn't want me to see him drinking out of a can, right? Because he kept me in a child's place. I didn't know anything about their bills or anything about their problems or anything that might have, and I'm finding out now as I get older, I'm starting to see a lot of children that have problems with the way their parents raised them. And because they have problems with the way their parents raised them, some of them have gotten to a place, I don't know if y'all are seeing this or not, and some of you might be experiencing, because I went through it for a little while, where you kind of start resenting. I ain't gonna say you necessarily resent your parents, but you definitely resent your childhood. And the only thing about that is you resent your childhood, but your parents are a part of your childhood. So a part of you kind of disconnects from. I'm seeing this more and more. And what I've learned, even in my 27 years of parenting now, because my son just had his 27th birthday, that I'm seeing some gaps in my parenting style, right? Some mistakes I might have made, and the thing is, were they really mistakes? Because nobody really has a manual for this whole parenting thing. Nobody has a manual for that, right? Parenting is on the job training, right? You either get it right or you get it wrong. You try to discipline, you try to put a plan in place and pray that the plan works. Certain rules I had in my house. My children couldn't bring home more than 2 B's. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. My philosophy was, now somebody on YouTube told me that's why I hate to see non-teachers talk, because children don't start off with 100. They start off with a 0. Man, shut up. I taught my children that you start off with 100, and anything you lose, you gave away. That mentality worked, especially with the girls, because they didn't bring home B's. And if they did bring home their B's counted as A's. right? Because they were in upper echelon of classes. But Trey never brought home more than 2 B's, and Trey graduated from Jacksonville State on the president's list, right? From the things that we put in. So even in what might have looked dysfunctional, we still found function, right? Because we tried our best, my ex and I, not to involve our children in what we had going on. And I believe she stayed long enough, to get him through school, because she probably wanted to leave a long time ago. But and so some people say you shouldn't stay, you shouldn't go, yada, yada, yada. But you never know what the right or the wrong answer is. You just try to do an answer, right? And pray that everything works out, and at the end, your children become productive citizens, they become, contributing members of society, that they will grow up and prayerfully get married to someone of the opposite sex and procreate, make children, give you grandchildren, and then your name and your legacy goes on and on and on. You hope you've made, that's the contribution that you seek to make to society. But sometimes along the way, people start to resentment creeps in. You start to have issues, right? And you start to question things that happen going on, and you have this resentment. And some of us, truth be told, really need to deal with that resentment. I went through a season when I left Arkansas, and this is me talking. When I left Arkansas, I didn't know if I was running from or going to, but it was one or the other, because I left on a whim. There was nothing that stopped me or made me want to stay. I quit my job. I left Little Rock with $118 and a trunk full of clothes. Moved to Atlanta, moved in with my girlfriend at that time for about a month, somewhere around that range. Got a job in the car business. Within that, by my second paycheck, I got my own apartment, and the rest was history beyond all that. But I took the leap of faith, and I left with $118 and a trunk full of clothes. I didn't know if I was running away from something or if I was running to something, but all I knew was I had to get away. And so many times, when you're younger and your parents, they trying to put that discipline on you, or trying to, trying to run your life. And you tell them, I can't wait. I used to hear my aunt say this all the time. I can't wait till I get old and get out your house. But then you get out there and, man, life starts lifing. And adulting, it ain't fun, especially when children come and you got to pay daycare. And then you make a choice. You got 2 or 3 kids. Do you even work? Because daycare is so expensive. And you don't want to just work only to pay daycare, and then you got to go, all those types of things. These are decisions that you have to make, right? And sometimes if you don't do it right, you don't get a chance to plan. What you say? Viola said you do the best with the tools you have. Absolutely. But I'm just learning that so many children now have seen the sum total of their experiences, and they resent it. And I see children being resentful, and they're doing good compared to a lot of other people. Yeah, they're running away from something. Yeah, running from something, or running to something, and running. But and Shauna, that's all a matter of perspective, right? Because I can look. We talk about how you can look at the glass and see if half empty or half full. And if you're the one that's doing the running, you might say you're running to something because you don't want to say that you're running from something, because you want to be respectful. I was talking to some children at work. Well, I call them children, young man at work. And we were talking. I told him, I said, man, I can't, he's young, he's 19. He's younger than my children. And I'm not blasting him because he's a good kid, but I told him I can't rock with him like that. And he's like, why? I said, you cuss too. I said, you're too disrespectful. He said, what do you mean? He said, how am I disrespectful? Because I said, no, you cuss all the time. I said, and then a young lady, she jumped in and said, well, when you were young, I bet y'all cuss too. I said, yeah, we did, but we didn't cuss around adults. We, I mean, for instance, if that kid's 19, I'm 53, I'm 34 years older than he is. I didn't cuss around people that were that much older than me because I didn't view myself as their equal. But that's where that respect thing comes in that I talked about earlier. Right. So I didn't cuss around. I'm 53 now. I don't cuss around people my daddy's age. And anybody that's my daddy's age is still Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so because there's a respect factor there. Right. And that respect factor is gone. And we can examine it. We can psychoanalyze why it happened. We could talk about because if the young man, I'm not gonna say, but if a child is raised, say only by his mother and and never interacted with his father and has issues with his father not being there, then sometimes when he looks at every black man, he sees his father or sees the father that wasn't there, and therefore you resent him because of what you didn't. I mean, all kind of things seed into and feed into who we are and how we emote and how we respond in life, right? And so I understand he's going through his things, but at a certain point, if you can't respect me, I can't rock, and I'm cool with that. Cool with that. Now, do I still love him? Yeah, I love him from over here. A lot of people I had love. There's some people in my life that have chosen not to be in it. I love you from over here. I got to. I got to. I have no choice. But I wish I could turn the camera around, but they delivered a new bedroom suit the other day, and it's got a very soft mattress. And despite everything that's going on, I go to bed at night and I sleep pretty good. And the reason I sleep pretty good is because of what I showed you at the beginning of this video when I showed you me singing that song. At the end of the song, I would play it again, but I'm not. At the end of the song, I smiled. And that smile, the reason I can smile like that now, is because I have something that the Apostle Paul equates or calls a peace that passeth all understanding. In other words, a peace that doesn't make sense. Oh God, I have a peace, literally, that doesn't make sense. And the peace, sometimes I get a little flustered. People get on my nerves, and no doubt. But I'm going to protect my peace. Money can't buy peace. Legislators can't legislate peace. Police can't police peace. They can't. Not when you got it. Not the kind that comes like from deep on the inside that says that despite everything I've been through, number one, I survived. And number two, despite it, all of that I've gone through, I'm still going to thrive. You know why? Here it is, and I'm cutting across the field. I'm gone. Out, exit stage left. But the reason why is because, here it is, the end has already been written. Purpose has already been set. Now all I have to do is take my passion and let my passion connect with my purpose and mix in this whole element called peace. And when I do that, I can't help, hear me well, but be productive. Passion mixed with purpose. And I have a whole lot of peace in the midst of all that. I can't help but be productive. And you know where I find myself in that moment? I find myself on the path to better. Listen, this has been the Intellectual Stew with James Kirkland. I'm your host, James Kirkland. As I said, the mind massager, JK, James K. This has been real, but as I say in closing every week, and I'm gone, the world is changing. But my question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you next week.
Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of it. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the Mind Messiah.